Rendering and Pre Comp. Okay, so rendering. What's important about rendering? Let's say I have a lot of these little effects going on and I do not have a fast computer. In many cases, you have to render the project in order to have this happen or occur. Now, you don't have to render the entire project. What's important to know is if I zoom out, I have this little bar. And I can stick this bar anywhere I want. Let's say I want to put it only above the footage that I want to render. In this case, from here to here. Okay. I can go to Sequence, Render Effects in Work Area. My work area is stretching between here and there. Now there's another feature up there that says it rendered the entire work area, and sure enough that will cover the entire time span no matter where you have this bar. You can see rendering takes a little bit of time. Even for this 1 minute clip, it took a couple seconds. But now what happens is the transitions will actually play real time. Sometimes the transitions look like they're actually much faster this way. And this is true because this is real time. When you were scrubbing across the timeline, that's just you scrubbing across the timeline in your own fashion. So it's always smart to render it out in an area that you're dealing with a lot of transitions. Same with speed. Let's say speed is an issue. Let's say I'm talking about this area right over here that I sped this up to about 500%. Well, again, let's not render the whole composition out. Let's put it over in this area. And then just render that. Now let's look how long it's going to take. Much longer. So when you're dealing with speed, yep, the time it takes to render it to actually see the real speed does take a while. And this is what really hurts students, is the fact that they come down to the end of the project and they're like, oh, I'm almost done, and then all of a sudden they have to render out the entire work area to see what the effects are. Very important. Okay, now I also said pre-comp. What is that? Well, pre-comp is a pre-composition of events. Let's say, and I always use it, let's say I have something like this where I've had 30 still images and I am really happy with the 30 still images the way they are, but then I need to insert that composition into another composition. So I would take this slideshow and bring it into another video. There we go. So in video speak, that's what that means. Pre-composition is taking and rendering out a part of your video in order to add it to another video. And that is done like this. File, Export, Media. And in this case, I don't want to lose quality. So I'm going to match sequence settings. Then I can queue it. And this is going to open up Adobe Media Encoder. Windows Media Encoder takes a long time to launch. Once launched, you should probably always just keep it up because you're going to be using it a lot. Okay, in this fact, it says waiting, but when I hit this little play, it says start queue. Now, before I do that, let's hit output file. Click that. And I think this is actually going to, no, this is right. It's going to render it out into my composition. So that's good. Because I use that nifty little feature that says same as encoding settings. So this is going to be called Comp1 MPEG. And it's done. So where did that go? Well, it went over to my sample composition. And there's Comp1. Now I can bring that in as a whole clip. And there we go. Now that same footage was once still, now is a video without loss of quality. So that is rendering and pre-compositioning. Let's move on to the next video.